Welcome, everybody. My name is Wendie Lash. I'm leading this midweek meditation. We are in our 18th week together since we started this. I want to acknowledge the earliest stewards of the land that I am on, currently known as Redwood City, California. And it is the Lamchin triblet of the Ramaytush people of the Ohlone Costanoan dialect group, who were the wonderful stewards of this land. And if you're new to meditation, welcome. If you're new to our meditation, welcome. It's a practice. We work on it continually throughout our life to deepen and to have the effects of meditation. And so, especially in this time of Elul, where we've got plenty that we're working on, allow your meditation to be whatever it is today. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me through my website or through Elul at Judaism Unbound. Anyways, we're going to move into today's focus. We are in the Jewish month, the Hebrew month of Elul. We're in the second month of this reflective month so that we can prepare for the High Holy Days, for the new year that's coming, and trying to be as well prepared to utilize that time and also to set our intention to, let's see what's happening here. I think, Lori, I'm going to mute you because I heard a little bit. Okay. So then we will, so we're in Elul, we're in the second week, and we talk about, we're nearing the end of the second week. Tomorrow is the last full day of the second week of Elul. So we're actually at that halfway point, or close to that halfway point. We talk about doing teshuvah in Elul, and that has historically been translated as repentance, but the root of the word is actually from the same root, to turn or to return. So a kinder, gentler, and I think more authentic read of that is, how are we going to return to ourselves? How are we going to turn away from habits that we've gotten more ingrained in, and turn back to something that feels more authentic, turn back to that sense of our own connection to the holiness, to divinity, to the ground of all being that many name God. I like to use Yud He Vav He, the actual root word of beingness that is also the name of God, the unpronounceable name of God, or Yah, which is two of those letters, the first two words, two letters of that four-letter name. For my sense, because it holds something that the word God doesn't quite hold for me, but I also see God as a placeholder. Doesn't mean what I think it means anyways. Doesn't mean what I think I know about it, because I don't know enough anyways to know what it fully means. But this time of turning, we can be turning back to that source, to that, and certainly our liturgy, and I'm going to share another practice with you today, which is around Psalm 27. And you know, the intention of the writer of that psalm was to return to God and to dwell in God's presence. So last week we talked about a couple of spiritual practices in the month of Elul that are offered to us to do as daily practices. One is to hear the shofar blown, and I'm going to actually blow it at the end of our session. And in case you haven't heard it today, and the shofar is designed to wake us up. And it certainly does that for me. I hope it does that for you. What are we doing? What are we doing today? Here's another day. Are we going to use it for helping us to prepare? Are we going to use it for doing our reflection work? It's our soul alarm, I guess you would call it. Another reflective practice is to do some kind of soul accounting, and I introduced the term last week, Heshbon HaNefesh. It actually literally means an accounting of the soul. Who am I? Who do I want to be? where might I have missed the mark, and therefore where do I need to do some course correction? Is there any repair work that I need to do in my life and in the lives of others and maybe in the world? And then this third practice for the month of Elul is to look at, some people say to read Psalm 27. That feels very flat to me. To explore Psalm 27 and see what it is that's in there for you this year. And specifically, there's a line in it which gets a lot of airplay, and I'm going to give it some more airplay today as well, which is the fourth line of Psalm 27. There's a chant for this, and I'm going to lead us in that chant today, but I wanted to just show you Psalm 27. And so we have the Hebrew over here on the right, and a pretty traditional translation of the English. One thing I ask from Yud He Vav He, only this do I seek, to dwell in the house of Yud He Vav He all the days, or it could also could be read, or has been translated as every day of my life, to gaze at the sweetness or the pleasantness of Yud He Vav He, and to dwell in, or it could also be read as to awaken each morning. In Yud He Vav He's, and then that last word is usually palace or temple, and I like grand abode. So I did a little bit of tweaking with the English translation here. That is what we do with Hebrew. We can find many different layers of meaning and different meanings by looking at the translation, and that's one way to seek more meaning in the Hebrew. If you know enough Hebrew to do that, or you can find other people who know enough Hebrew and they can help you with that. And so looking to dwell in the sweetness of our teshuvah work, I really like that idea. Instead of thinking about it as something that's difficult, that we have to take on, that it's going to be painful, it's like there's sweetness at the end of it. Just like, tilling a garden is a lot of work, and then you finally do get the fruits of the garden at the end. Teshuvah work is the same. It's work that gives you a sweetness afterwards. You're letting go of something that you're holding on to, whether that's somebody who's hurt you or some way that you may not have been your most skillful, and you're forgiving, letting go of holding on to something that happened in the past that's no longer in your present unless you bring it forward. Another way to look at this is to dwell in the place of love. So many people find that they put in the word love for God. The understanding is that that's the part of God that we're really, that we want to have more in our life. If God is all things, both the difficult, the challenging, and as well as the sweet and the loving, where do we want to reside? I think we want to reside in that loving place, that sense of ahava rabbah, of God as a flowing fountain of love, just constantly flowing love towards us. And a way to look at our own flaws through the lens of love, to look at the challenges and the flaws of others through the lens of love. As I was thinking about this today, I was thinking, being a parent myself, although my son is 32, I hope I still do this, but certainly when he was little and he would do something that wasn't quite, the way I would want him to be, I still held this, overflowing love for him, and could help course correct him on my better days out of a sense of love instead of out of a sense of retribution. So if we think about how all of us are connected, even if we're asking somebody, even if we're offering forgiveness from somebody who's hurt us, to recognize that we are all connected, that one person's return is connected to my return, and my return is connected to theirs. So that's how I like to look at it. We'll have 2 more weeks in Elul to continue to look at Teshuvah and how we might use it. I wanted to just show you here the words from the chant that I'll be singing today. If you want to sing along in your in the privacy of your own abode, wherever you are. It's the Hebrew words for this line in Psalm 27. And the English translation for this particular chant is a little bit different, based more on those typical, may I dwell in your house, may I dwell in your holy place, and using the word beauty for Noam, for sweetness and pleasantness. Also another way to think of, the beauty of that loving place. So that's what we're going to do today. We'll chant, and then let me stop the screen share. And then I decided I really wanted to do another one of Thich Nhat Hanh's breath meditations. I may do one every month, but I wanted to craft it around Elul. So this will be a Jewish Buddhist experience. So we're going to take the kind of guided breath meditation from Thich Nhat Hanh and some of his words, but add a little bit of Elul flavor to them. And so there will be 9 different prompts in this guided meditation. If you've done one of these with us or in another setting. So I'll give you a phrase for the in-breath and a phrase for the out-breath, and then distill it down to some focus words. Let go if you cannot remember the words, because there's more in this meditation than others. And then just concentrate on your breathing, and there'll be another round with more words. And I will do a waking bell, which will sound like this to bring us back. We'll have a few breaths. We will go into the phrases and then move to the next part. So I'll guide you, just giving you a little hint of what we're doing there. So Psalm 27 chant, moving us into a breathing, Elul forgiveness meditation. Yai dai 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 yai dai 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 ya dai dai ya dai 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 ya dai 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 yai dai 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 ya dai dai ya dai dai dai. Yai dai dai, yai dai yada dai, yai dai yada dai dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai dai dai. Ya dai 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 ya dai 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 ya dai dai ya dai dai dai. Achat shalti metaya ota vakesh. Achat shalti metaya ota vakesh. Shivti bevedya kol yamechaya lazot benoam ya ul halot lazot benoam ya uvaker halot. One thing I ask of you, I earnestly pray for. One thing I ask of you, I earnestly pray for, that I may dwell in your house all the days of my life, knowing the beauty of you, and to dwell in your holy place, knowing the beauty of you, and to dwell in your holy place. So if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes if they're not already closed. Make sure you're sitting comfortably, feeling the spine nice and erect, not overly stretched, but just feeling the nobleness in your spine, rooting your sit bones down into the chair, lifting the head and neck in a dignified way, allowing the breath to move gently, easily into the body. Noticing the breath in the body. As you breathe in, the belly or the lungs receiving the breath. And as you breathe out, letting go and releasing and softening the front of the body. As we prepare to invite tshuva and forgiveness, thinking about the front of the body being soft and receptive, and the back of the body being strong and courageous, holding both at the same time in this meditation, helping us to be awake and alert and also vulnerable at the same time. Our first phrase, using the breath. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I dwell in the present moment. Calm, present moment. Aware of the state of my mind, I breathe in. Courage to open my heart, I breathe out. Aware of mind, aware of heart, courage. Aware of the state of my mind, I breathe in. Smiling to the state of my mind, I breathe out. Aware of my mind, smiling. Seeing the past present in me now, I breathe in. Seeing the wounds of the past present in me now, I breathe out. Past present in me now, wounds in me now. Visualizing some hurt done to me in the past, I breathe in. Seeing the suffering I still carry from the past, I breathe out. Hurt done, suffering held. Visualizing some hurt I have done in the past, I breathe in. Seeing the suffering I caused in the past, I breathe out. Damage done, suffering caused. Saying I am sorry, I breathe in. Determined not to do it again, I breathe out. Saying sorry, determined not to repeat. knowing that by transforming the present, I transform the past. I breathe in. Determined to be mindful and understanding in the present, I breathe out. Transforming past in transforming present, mindful and understanding now. And our last guide we'll have a little bit more time with. Smiling to the present, I breathe in. Determined to take good care of the present, I breathe out. Smiling to the present, taking good care of the present. So take a nice deep breath in, wide into the lungs, deep down into the lungs. And exhale and let it go. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Hopefully there was not all of your Teshuvah work. We're only halfway through the month, but maybe some bits and pieces were there for you or came into your awareness of what you want to continue to work with and work on this month. And if you want to do some reflecting or journaling, especially if you're not with us in the Zoom, you might want to reflect on what's arising for you as your Teshuvah work this year. Or if you could ask one question, one thing I ask of yourself this year as you finish out this year and move into the next year, what is it that you would like to ask yourself? So I'm going to blow some shofar, and then we will say goodbye to the folks on this stream and in the recording.
Yasher Koach.
Thank you. May your Elul continue to be fruitful. May you have places to uncover and explore. And as always, we acknowledge that together we are journeying together and that the presence of all of us is honored by one another and acknowledged by one another. So just going to, and we say, Bet Salam Yah. You are made in the divine image, and the divine in me sees and acknowledges the divine in you.